The preceding program has been brought to you by AMCA International Limited and its U.S. subsidiary, AMCA International Corporation.
You might think that all you'd need to end a drought is water, but you'd be wrong. Because even in the midst of the worst drought in living memory, there was water on Kenya's Tsavo plains. The rivers rushed through the barren landscape, flooded by rains that fell miles away. But no rain on the plain meant no food, and no shelter from the burning heat. And that meant trouble, even for the largest animals. But then the rains came, and with them, life. On the shore, in the water, on the wing, even burrowing up from under the mud. The waterhole teems with creatures great and small. And they've got a lot of living to do because Tsavo's good times don't last forever. Before long, the waterhole will dry up. The animals will go in search of food or into hiding until the rains come again. It's a story that began millions of years ago, and it's not over yet. And then the rains came. Next time on Nature.
Sunday night at 8 here on Channel 17.
Wanted! Fact-filled federal publications. Get the free consumer information catalog. Write catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
2 men, 2 nations, 1 challenge. To reach the South Pole, only one would survive.
If we go on, we could lose everything.
Will Scott turn back?
Beating the English is not everything.
The Last Place on Earth, a landmark adventure on Masterpiece Theater.
TV worth watching, Sunday night at 9 here on Channel 17. Wonderworks deals with a sensitive subject of divorce in a humorous animated special, Happily Ever After. TV worth watching for the whole family, Monday night at 8 here on Channel 17. The preceding program has been brought to you by AMCA International Limited and its U.S. subsidiary, AMCA International Corporation.
He is perhaps the greatest actor and director of our age, but only Laurence Olivier himself remembers what they said way back when.
If this actor goes on playing the way he is, I close up the picture.
Or what he told Hollywood.
This anemic little medium can't take great acting. Can you imagine that?
I feel as if I was swimming in
Potato salad?
Yes.
True confessions.
I was on tour. If ever there was one.
Shocking revelations.
After a while, I did work up enough physique to dare to show myself.
The stars he married.
I'm difficult to live with. You don't get much fun, do you?
You know your places! God be with you all!
Great moments with Laurence Olivier.
They're a delightful fellow. Nice company.
And a host of stage and screen knights and dames. Laurence Olivier, A Life. Part 1 next time on Great Performances.
Sunday afternoon at 2 here on Channel 17. TV worth watching.
News from the battlefront, and all you animals and insects out there, be warned. You've been lunching on leaves for too long, and the leaves and their plants are fighting back with every weapon and defense at their command, from chemical warfare to camouflage, to all-out killer attack. Hey, it's a jungle out there, and every plant and leaf has to fend for itself. So be there when the leaves take on the butterflies and a whole lot more, next time on Nature, Battle of the Leaves.
Here on Channel 17, Sunday night at 8. Don't miss the premiere of a new series on Mystery. This week, watch Part 1 of P.D. James's Death of an Expert Witness. Mystery, TV worth watching, Sunday night at 10 here on Channel 17. Travel with Scott and Amundsen on journeys through 1,500 miles of frozen wilderness in their race to the South Pole. Watch Part 2 of The Last Place on Earth on Masterpiece Theater, Sunday night at 9 here on Channel 17.
Shows you love to see. You'll turn us on and you'll love it. TV worth watching, Channel 17.
Public TV.
news galore.
Public TV is family viewing. We're as big as all outdoors.
There's information and education, the kind your kids love to explore. You turn us on and we love it. Great new shows you'll love to see. You'll turn us on and you'll love it. TV worth watching. Channel 17.
As the United Nations Children Fund launches an extensive child survival resolution, NOVA charts their progress in South and Central America. Watch The Silent Emergency on NOVA, Tuesday night at 8 on Channel 17.
Public TV is mystery drama, tales to make you laugh or cry.
From a movie marathon second to none, boasting 26 feature films, to Masterpiece Theater, all creatures great and small, and all new Doctor Who's, you'll find Channel 17's Holiday Festival is TV worth paying for.
And you'll love it. TV worth watching. Channel 17.
Nature travels to Central America to explore the ecology of the plants and animals and the ties which link predator to prey. Watch Selva Verde on Nature, Sunday night at 8 here on Channel 17. Gregory Peck, Ava Gardner, and Fred Astaire had the cast in On the Beach. Neville Shute's story of the prospect of nuclear annihilation. On the Beach, TV worth watching Saturday night at 9 here on Channel 17. This week's Saturday night movie double feature brings an eerie tale of suspense. The time is World War III. Only Australia has escaped the radioactive cloud that has annihilated the Northern Hemisphere. And only one United States atomic sub has survived. Gregory Peck, Fred Astaire, and Ava Gardner star in Neville Shute's On the Beach. Don't miss On the Beach at 9, followed by Alec Guinness and Our Man in Havana at 11:30 on Channel 17's Saturday night movie double feature.
Swimming, water sports, a welcome escape from summer's heat and cares. Some people excel in the water environment, others just have fun. But all must respect the water, for it's an element that is unforgiving of mistakes. Some people fear the water with compelling reasons.
It dates back from the drowning of my brother in 1930. And after that, none of us, we were a family of 7, and none of us was encouraged to go to the water. We were always told to be careful, keep away from the water. We knew what happened to Davy.
I come from a family of non-swimmers, and we weren't around the water that much, and I did apparently have a near-drowning incident when I was quite young.
In Toronto, a group of determined people willing to acknowledge their fear have found an instructor who specializes in helping them break through that barrier.
That fear stops you from doing things that normally would be simple to learn. So in swimming, you want to be comfortable with your head under the water. But if you're that fearful of putting your head under the water, that fear stops you and interferes with the learning process. So you have to overcome that fear.
You get nervous why?
Because I'm that much lower under the water.
Lower.
Air is farther away from me.
Okay, good. How does that feel?
It feels okay.
Yeah?
Nothing went up my nose.
Okay. Okay, fine, no problem?
No.
Okay, now what we're going to do is sometimes I want to prepare you for different situations that might happen in the pool. You never know what's going to happen. Somebody might come along and just push you, and you might get nervous and so on. So if you can handle these kinds of situations without worrying about it, and by reacting automatically and being comfortable, that's a good thing. Right?
And it went on my whole life along. Always, every teacher threw me in the water. Michael Berger is the first teacher who does not throw me in the water. Yeah, I tried on my own.
So your fear really then is of deep water?
Deep water, yes, yes. In the shallow water, I'm quite comfortable now, but in the deep water, I'm not that far yet. I will manage one day, yes.
Whatever the source of the fear, the training requires that the student become relatively relaxed in the water, at least comfortable enough so that the learning process can begin.
The breathing, I start on the land. I teach them how to breathe in through the mouth and out through the nose, and I do it on land, initially. When they're comfortable with that, and when they have it automatically, then I put some water in the sink, and I get them to do it in the sink, which is a very controlled situation, a non-threatening situation, because many people who are afraid of the water don't want to even go to a swimming pool. But if you do it that way, on land and in the sink, then they are comfortable with their head underwater, then they're ready for the next step, really.
You know, before you ever go into the water, how to breathe. You have confidence in yourself because you understand, as he teaches you, that the body is buoyant, it won't sink, it will float. But it's through conversation and through his patience, really, that you develop that confidence. And it happens slowly. If you're worried, if you're panic-stricken, you're not relaxed, and therefore you won't float.
Panic-stricken, is that the feeling you might have felt over the years when you were around water?
Oh, absolutely, sure. Because I have always known that if I fell into a swimming pool, I would have no idea what to do. And now I realize that my fears were well grounded because I didn't know how to breathe.
Each person's fear is a very individual thing, and the age is not the only thing that's important. I've had a lady like one that you've seen today whose brother drowned. She took about 4 or 5 lessons, and within 5 lessons, she was able to overcome the fear enough so that she could use her knowledge of swimming so that she could swim the width of a pool.
I've wanted to go overcome it for quite some time. I don't know exactly how long. My breathing is terrible. He's had an awful time with me trying, Michael has had an awful time with me trying to get me to breathe properly. But on top of that, I have a heart condition now. And the reason that sent me back to the lessons was that the doctor wanted me to take swimming lessons because he said it was the best cardiovascular exercise I could have.
Your goal when you start out with a student, what are you trying to achieve for them?
I want them to be comfortable and be able to handle as many emergency situations in the water. And it enables them, some of them, to overcome a barrier which they thought wasn't possible before. And through that, it really opens up other doors for them. And that's one of the very exciting things about this, what I'm doing.
I have been in boats and at cottages and now a swimming pool on my own property, and I am quite conscious of the fact that as a non-swimmer, it's just like playing Russian roulette. You can't get away with it forever. It also looks like a lot of fun.
Public TV is mystery drama, tales to make you laugh or cry.
It's Channel 17's perennial favorite, Holiday Festival's movie marathon, including It's a Wonderful Life, Holiday Inn, A Christmas Carol, and Beckett. 26 feature films from the Yuletide season.
You'll turn us on and you'll love it. TV worth watching. Channel 17.
Matthew Broderick stars in the story of a lonely white South African youth and 2 black men who work for his family. Don't miss Master Harold and the Boys. TV worth watching Sunday afternoon at 2 here on Channel 17.
Tonight's news update is brought to you by Molson's, Canada's name in beer since 1786.
The federal government has shut down a second Western bank, and in the wake of fierce criticism, it has ordered a judicial inquiry into both failures. The Calgary-based Northland Bank was officially closed today. The collapse of the Northland and the Canadian Commercial Bank, which was shut down on September 1st, could cost taxpayers as much as $2 billion. Minister of State for Finance Barbara McDougall was in Toronto today for a speech at the Canadian Club. She refused to talk to reporters about the Northland situation, discussing it only in general terms.
I believed that a rescue package could sustain a bank that was important to Western Canada. We did so, along with other banks, 2 provinces, and other financial institutions, in good faith, based on the best information available to us at that time. And the decision this fall to wind up the bank was similarly based on the best information. And we faced into it, and we made the decision.
The Starkist tuna plant that produced 1 million cans of rancid tuna will be closed and its 300 employees laid off. The announcement comes from the mayor of St. Andrews, New Brunswick, where the plant is located. Starkist's marketing manager contradicts the announcement and says he knows of no decision to close the plant. Police in Lebanon say 4 Soviet diplomats have been kidnapped by gunmen in Muslim West Beirut. Voice of Lebanon Radio says the embassy officials were seized in 2 incidents. A diplomat at the Soviet embassy declined to comment on the reports, but Muslim militia sources say they've been contacted by the embassy regarding the missing men. And that's News Update.
Angela and Tony get stranded together in the same motel room on Who's the Boss tomorrow at 8 on the Global Television Network.